Welcome back to Viking Football with Bruce Barnum, and it's a very happy Tuesday morning as the Vikings come off a 45-20 victory over Idaho State last Saturday. This week, Portland State travels once again to Weber State for a Saturday evening game. That'll be 5 o'clock Pacific time. And, Coach, you have to feel pretty good. You got to sleep in your own bed this weekend, and you got a victory at home. That has to be satisfying.
It was. Mike, winning breeds confidence in a young football team. It was beautiful. I saw it on the sideline. I saw it after the first quarter. You saw a little different football team, a little different attitude, and there's a lot of mental side of this game that we're slowly picking up on. It was fun. It was fun to see that evolve through 4 quarters.
Okay, now everybody's talking about how that game evolved, and they're talking about the statistics in that game, and they're talking about the passing statistics, they're talking about the rushing statistics, but I have a feeling, I'm going to lead you on here, and let's see if you can get the answer. There's a statistic that means a lot more to you than those 2 numbers. Can you tell me what that is?
The W, I think you're talking about.
I'm talking about the turnover statistic.
Oh, the turnovers, yes. We won that battle. That was a goal. Back to what we were. We got 2 takeaways. We won 2-0 in the turnover battle. We had some on the ground that make you a little nervous, but got them back. But put a game together. I told you I was going to cut back the package a little bit.
You succeeded.
So we cut that pass game back a little bit and took what they gave us, I don't care how it happens. Winning a college football game, especially in the Big Sky, is hard.
Now, everybody wants to talk about the passing statistic, the fact that there were no passing yards. But on the other hand, the team was averaging 220 passing yards per game going into that. I don't think that's a huge concern of yours. It was more a function of what was working so well. You're just going to stick with it and win the football game that way.
That was it. Pretty simple game. You score more than them, you win. So it was kind of a clock situation, but that didn't really work out because that was tied to time of possession. But we scored a little too fast sometimes. But I liked how it went. Again, the best thing that came out of that game on offense, defense, special teams was the confidence that you saw grow, and that'll lead us in the upcoming weeks.
Okay, now 531 rushing yards, a school record. Why was the running game so successful? What were the elements there that were really working for you?
Our group, our coaches, we talked about some things in our base runs that needed to be changed, we thought, last week, and then the kids took it over. Up front, offensive line, and you saw tailbacks. You saw Nate and Paris and Alex. He became a running back in that game. You saw him doing things to make our base offense successful. And that's fun to watch.
And now, as we start to look ahead to next week, one other positive that came out of that game, relatively good health out of that football game. And again, like last week, maybe another 1 or 2 guys getting back this week as we approach Weber State.
We do. We're going to find out at our 1 o'clock meeting if we have a couple guys back. The only bad news this week, Mike, is John Boland. We lost him for his career due to concussions. A young student athlete out of the PIL. He's the first guy I offered when I got the head coaching job, so that one was kind of at a moment there. Great kid, great family. I'm sorry to see it end, but he's going to be successful in whatever he does. But after that, yes, we compared to our first group of games, that road swing, we came out pretty healthy.
And John Boland, if you're on Twitter, he put out a really nice tweet last night. Find him, I believe it's at I am John Boland, talking a little bit about the Viking football program and what it's meant to him. Now we move on to Weber State, a team. One thing we know about Weber State, they are 2-2 on the season. They played some really close games, with the exception of their season opener, overtime game with South Dakota, close games with UC Davis and Sac State, both victories. So a team that's been tested in some tight games. What do you see from Weber State?
Welcome to the Big Sky. You watch the scores from last week. You're like, whoa, what? You look at them, and this team's beating this team, and this game's close. Weber State's a good football team. Number 23, Trayvon, they have a player on defense. The first week, it was Sharp. I thought Mike Sharp was a standout player. Now number 23 on this team on their defense. He's the real deal. He's fun to watch. I actually went back through a couple of games and just watched him. He's a factor. Playing hard. They've been in some tight matches, like you said, but it's homecoming. They've had a week off, so they'll be ready for us. We're going to have to bring our caps that game.
Homecoming and a week off. It sounds familiar. That seems to be who the Vikings get every week this season. Offensively, they have some experience there at quarterback, Jadrian Clark, a guy who's been in a lot of Big Sky football games, and a quality running back in Trayshawn Garrett.
They do, and you watch them. They run power. They mix it up. I like it. Part of their running game I really like, and they'll try to hit you with power, and if they spread out like the rest, they can make plays. They are a quality football team in the Big Sky, and it's one of those things that you're inches. It's a game of inches, and they've lost a couple tight ones, and again, it's going to take a lot to stop that offense or slow them down, and to get after their defense. They play hard.
Okay, fourth road game in 5 weeks. Vikings coming off probably their most complete victory, good defensive effort, good offensive effort. What's the message now as we go on the road again? What message do you give to your team?
This week only. I mean, last week all we talked about was Idaho State. That's all I said to the group. Started this morning with Weber State and last night in our team meeting. But, we're going to take Friday. We're going to get there early, Friday down to Salt Lake. Going to show them a landmark, a Salt Lake landmark in the Temple Square there. I'm going to walk them through that and let them see the Oregon. That's a beautiful building inside where the Tabernacle sings for Christmas and all that. But then up to the zoo. We're going to go to the Hogle Zoo. But it's a bowl. Every road trip for us is a bowl game, Mike. I want the guys to be excited about it. But a young team, you also have to teach them to be ready on Saturday. This is fun. This is Friday or Thursday, whenever we leave. But game day is a different thing. And they're catching on. They'll be all right.
The Americana Tour continues with Barney Ball as the Vikings head to Weber State this weekend. Once again, Portland State versus Weber State, 5 p.m. Pacific time kickoff. You can hear all the action on Rip City Radio. Get all the details at govikes.com.